Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to dive into one of the most common legal areas where disputes arise, landlord-tenant issues. Whether you're a landlord or tenant, knowing how to handle these disputes can save you time, money and stress. Let's get into the top 5 most frequent disputes and how they can be resolved effectively under Singapore law. First on the list is rent payment disputes. Now, landlords rely on rental income, and tenants may face financial difficulties that result in late or missed payments. To resolve this, it's crucial for both parties to maintain clear communication. Landlords should provide reminders and allow their tenants a reasonable grace period before taking legal action. If you are a tenant and you're facing financial difficulties, inform your landlord. Show him proof so that he understands your situation and then work out some kind of arrangement, perhaps a lower rent or paying the rent in installments or whatever. Tenants should also notify landlords if they anticipate delays. If the issue persists, landlords can issue a letter of demand and eventually apply for an order of possession and a writ of distress through the courts if the rent remains unpaid. However, mediation can often help settle such matters without escalating to legal action. Next up is property damage. Tenants are responsible for the reasonable upkeep of the rental unit, but disputes arise over what constitutes normal wear and tear versus actual damage. To resolve this, both parties should agree on an inspection checklist before the tenancy begins, documenting the condition of the property with photos, videos, and written notes help prevent any disputes in future. If disputes still arise, tenants need to cover the cost of the repairs through their security deposit, or the matter can be referred to the Small Claims Tribunal, which has jurisdiction to hear residential tenancy disputes. The third most common disputes are security deposit disputes. Security deposit disputes occur when landlords refuse to return the deposit, claiming it's needed for repairs or unpaid rent, and there is an unusually high percentage of Singapore landlords deliberately making up fake damage or false reasons for not returning deposits. To avoid this, the tenancy agreement should clearly specify the conditions under which the deposit can be withheld and the deadline for it to be refunded. If a dispute arises, tenants can send a written demand for the return of the deposit and may seek assistance from the Small Claims Tribunal. Fourth on the list is the issue of early termination of tenancy agreements. Whether it's due to job relocation or personal reasons, tenants may wish to end the tenancy early. If you are an expat, it is important to negotiate a diplomatic clause which allows you to terminate the tenancy agreement if you lose your job or are transferred overseas. If a break clause exists, it should clearly outline the procedure for early termination. If not, tenants can negotiate with the landlord for a mutually agreeable settlement, such as finding a replacement tenant. If the parties cannot agree, the tenancy terms will prevail and tenants may have to continue paying rent for the remaining term or face legal consequences. The last common dispute I'm going to talk about are disputes over maintenance and repairs. Tenants expect landlords to address major repairs, but landlords may argue that certain maintenance issues are the responsibility of the tenant. This can be avoided by having a clear tenancy agreement that specifies who is responsible for what. As a general rule, landlords are responsible for major repairs to the structure, air conditioning, and utilities, while tenants handle minor day-to-day upkeep. It is also common to specify the maximum sum that the tenant has to bear and that the landlord has to bear the excess. For example, the clause could say something along the lines that the tenant shall bear the cost of minor repairs up to $200 and any excess shall be borne by the landlord. So there you have it, 5 of the most frequent disputes between landlords and tenants in Singapore, along with practical steps to resolve them. If you are a landlord or tenant facing any of these issues, it is always advisable to seek legal advice and consider mediation before escalating matters to the courts. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more legal tips and insights.